Hi there, Virgo. Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is your September reading. It will roughly span the 1st to the 15th of the month. Okay, something going on here with the numbers a little bit. And I'm Becca to mention this in this moment for you, Virgo, that right, Mercury is retrograde, and Mercury is retrograde in Virgo. So something perhaps to do with numbers, and you're generally very much a detail-oriented sign. And as I was meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera, Virgo, there was this sort of this feeling of just for the heck of it. That's what I was hearing. Just for the sake of it, just for the fun of it, just for the heck of it. Something to do with throwing caution to the wind a little bit, okay, about something perhaps, okay. And it's almost like I see you like driving in this car. It's like a convertible, and your hair is just like blowing in the wind, and you have these like glasses on, and you're enjoying the moment, okay, very much so. But so there's something to do though, perhaps about numbers, okay, and time and values. I'm hearing time and value, okay. Nonetheless, Virgo, okay, I was saying that it will roughly span the 1st to the 15th of the month, and of course energy is fluid, so right, it may permeate a little bit before the 15th, the 1st, a little after the 15th. Now it's almost like this, Virgo, where there are sort of polar opposites, okay, where there is sort of a yin and a yang, where there is sort of stepping before the threshold and standing before it, okay. See, okay, so something to do with, yet again, right, the polarity of functions, almost switching roles and perspectives. It's almost like a form of like a dyslexia, right? Yeah, it's like where you intend to, let's say, raise your hand at a certain point in the show. Okay, you raise your hand at the opposite point in the show that right corresponds to the point that you wanted to raise your hand for. So, and whatever this example may mean to a number of you, this is coming through for you strongly, Virgo. There's something, it's like almost like if you're answering something on autopilot, right? And you're thinking, why? I know what I want my answer to be. But it's almost like in the moment of expressing it, you may say like in the exact opposite in a certain way, perhaps for a number of you. But let's get to the cards here for you, Virgo, okay? And I was also getting playing it safe, something about playing something safe. I feel that it's a moment I'm hearing that's catapulting you in a new direction, okay? But I'm getting as well that there's a beckoning to heed your intuition, okay? And I'm hearing cautionary tales. So whatever that may mean to you, Virgo, dear Virgo, let's see what comes through for you. Okay, 8 of Wands in your theme, upright, right next to, mirroring, the 9 of Swords in reverse, which wants, right, to be seen in tandem with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, very much so, okay. Both in reverse, beautiful, beautiful, and it's mirroring this 8 of Wands. Something, shake-up, coming about, where it stimulates you, okay, it spurs you, rather, to let go, okay, of the ways that you've been feeling and, in a way, expecting and rationalizing whatever this change is that's coming about. I feel that whatever this change is, it requires of you to I'm hearing makeshift, make do, okay, make part with, some sort of dimension, I'm hearing, of analysis of the ways in which we stabilized our assets, our resources, our ways in the past of attaining a sense of getting also emotional satisfaction, but also material, financial. Okay, absolutely. So there's this reformation of foundation, of ideals, of our progress, okay? And the process of that progress. How we take ourselves there. And it's almost like by way of being thrown into a situation where, right, it's almost like it sets us on our edge, okay? That's the point at which it all comes undone and it all comes clear also at the same time. So there's something here for you, Virgo, about I'm hearing yet again for you cautionary tales. So Father of Pentacles is mirroring the 8 of Wands. I feel that for a number of you, this Father of Pentacles character, if this is your very own energy, right, you have expected this change. If this is not your very own energy, if you know one who has a lot of Capricorn in their chart, I'm getting Capricorn specifically, but also a lot of Earth in their chart, someone who you feel is associated with whatever the shakeup is, they expected it in a way, right? It was by way of their sort of emotional impulse. Okay, that's what I'm getting for a number of you. Their emotionalism that actually this change came about. Now, but it's almost like they're at a distance. Okay. Having some sort of influence effect on the situation, but it's again happening from a distance. The Fool, okay, right beneath this Father of Pentacles, mirroring the Four of Pentacles. There is absolute transformation. It is an emotional cycle. I do get that. You have the Ten of Cups as well, right beneath the Fool, okay, in reverse, but right over the Ace of Cups upright. Beautiful. Okay, over the Ten of Swords in reverse. So there is an absolute sense of impending change, closure that speaks to an emotional cycle, as well as one that has held you, I'm hearing, captive of your own mind in some sort of way, and hopefully not, right? But there's this focus on the intellectual, rational mind, and Virgo, you are ruled by Mercury. So that is very much, right, this analytical sort of propensity that you may have, especially if you've got a lot of either Gemini, Virgo in your chart, prominently placed, and or, right, Mercury itself prominently placed in your chart. Then, right, this I'm hearing this shadow of a doubt. This is something about perhaps even self-doubt in certain ways you may have configured it, or the way that you've perceived whatever it is that you've wanted to create, whatever this propensity towards, or this outlooker's perspective towards whatever it is you want to create has been, you're recognizing, I've got to do away with that. I've got to do away with all of these opinions, with all of these views and these visions of what I hold to be my very own personal, I'm hearing, my life, my path, my passion. Okay, so I'm hearing light at the end of the tunnel. You understand that whatever this shakeup is, I'm hearing it's making room for greater good. Okay, now you have here the Nine of Pentacles upright in your deep past. You have this Six of Pentacles upright in your recent past. The Two of Cups in reverse in your energetic pathway that led you to your current state. Four of Wands upright. Two of Cups popped out as well for, I believe it was, Capricorn. Okay, yes, Capricorn. Now, Four of Wands upright in your current state. You then have two fours here, okay, side by side. The Four of Cups upright and the Nine of Wands upright. I believe Capricorn pulled these two cards as well. You have Temperance in reverse in your environment, looking over the Two of Cups in reverse. Okay, and I'm getting almost like a shocked feeling. Temperance speaks of Sagittarius energy, okay, in the major arcana. So, a Sagittarian archetype may, someone with a lot of Sagittarius in their chart, may be involved in this, almost like as an onlooker of the way that you're handling the situation. Okay, I'm hearing retraction. I'm hearing retraction of bid. Okay, for a number of you, you have here the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, I'm hearing retraction strongly. So there's something to do about, it's almost like this. You perhaps had one foot in a certain, I'm hearing measure, in a certain act, in a certain sequence, and you're like, that's not the tune I want to dance to. Okay, plain and simple. That's not. I'm hearing my show that I want to tell. Okay, and you're taking a very adamant stance with that, where you're being very frank with yourself. Okay, first and foremost, in terms of how you feel about whatever this situation has been, partnership has been perhaps, and also, okay, the ways in which you have capacitated, engaged, social interaction. You're taking a very close look at that, Virgo, and I almost said Sagittarius again, and Sagittarius is looking over at this as well, right? Again, very strongly. So it's almost like you always used to go to this one park, or you always used to go to this one bar, okay, for I'm hearing for breakfast, okay, so take it as you will, Virgo, but it's like there's always this like routine sort of habitual, I'm hearing also expression, self-expression, and it's like it was so solid, there was a solidarity to it as well, where you were like, this is me in a way, like in a way you may have felt, well, this defines me, I right, everybody there knows me. They know my order. And then it's like, right, and perhaps you had friends that you would go to that one place with often. And then there's this internal sort of very clear recognition, okay, that the places that you're going and the ways that you're perceiving how you feel in those moments when you reach those places, you recognize does not serve me, does not serve my best interest of where I want to go from there, right? So you're thinking, I'm hearing four paces forward. You're thinking beyond these moments that you're engaging in, that you're partaking in. And it's almost like this. It's almost like, let's say, right, you have this one friend that you would oftentimes, right, frequent these places with. And it was your habitual sort of expression of I'm hearing camaraderie, okay. I'm hearing the fleeting moments. So take it as you will, Virgo. Nonetheless, it's almost like, you know, one day you're just like, I'm not going there. Like, I can't do that anymore. And this individual is like taken aback, right? Like they would have never sort of expected that from you. So, but you're standing for that, okay, Virgo? You're so clear on it that it doesn't matter anymore, right? Even you're not concerned with how your decision looks or feels to others or sounds to others. Because you're not concerned with making that so apparent. Your concern, your priority is engaging in the, I'm hearing, onset of behaviors that align with you. That's your concern. That's your priority in a very positive way, in a very serious way, though, at the same time. So while you're taking that very seriously, right, it's like everybody will like watch out. Okay, there's major transformation here, and you're not taking it lightly. I'm getting that you're not taking it lightly. Now, the Six of Cups mirrors this Two of Cups, Six of Cups upright. I feel that as I'm hearing dicey, as strict I'm getting as well as this decision is that you make, okay, to retract yourself from whatever this sort of routine has been. I'm getting routine specifically for you. It's not without a concern for the greater collective. At the same time, there's this recognition that we all, in some shape or form, we work together. Okay, excuse me, losing my voice here. We work together. But at what point, right, are we working together, and at what point are we really working together, right? So that is your question, and it's the question of what enables me, what enlivens my spirit, what motivates me to bring my best to the table for everyone. So first, but it's got to be the best thing for me. First, it's got to speak to who I really am. Right? And so that is your concern. It's not that you're saying, right, baby out with the bathwater. I don't partnership. Who needs sharing moments? Who needs that? It's like no. It's like you not necessarily you want to bring your best. I'm getting that strongly. You want to bring your best, but it's a question of, right, who am I? I've got to understand who I am before I can bring the best of me forward. So there's a compassionate nature to this, but in a very interesting way. Now, Temperance in reverse, looking over the Two of Cups, there may, again, right, this sort of sense of not expecting this. Now, I'm hearing it's like waiting. When is this going to be over? Waiting. It's like, is this a phase? Waiting for this to be over. There may be someone who just doesn't feeling like, but what? How is it? That kind of feeling. Okay, but at the same time, I'm getting this strongly. As much as you're retracting, okay, from whatever this flow has been, at the same time, you're still involved in some sort of network, okay, that is related to career, finances, as well as the union. It's like unionization, I'm hearing, the merging, okay, of two halves, okay, that are very different in their own way, that maybe have very different ways of working around things, that have very different ways of working, period, so to speak. But you're all at the same time contributing. you're all collaborating in some sort of way. So the question is how, right, do we work in our best ways as individuals while maintaining the grander structure and scheme that we work through, right, as the collective. So now you have here, it's very interesting, you have the 8 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles encasing your spread. You have the 8 in your future, you have the 9 in your deep past. They're literally at polar ends of the spectrum, and they go in sort of reverse order, right? 9, 8. So, and we said in the very beginning, there's something almost flipping, okay? It's like a flipping of numbers. So, something about here, it's like something about your left from your right, okay? Something about, but understanding, this is the feeling I'm getting is that you are expanding something, a concept, okay, of even materials, material assets, resources. It's almost like you're pulling it apart and you're focusing. It's like this. It's like this is what I'm feeling you're doing, Virgo. It's like almost as if, right, you pull this rubber band. Okay, and you stretch it to the point where you just stake it. You stake either side of this rubber band, either end of the rubber band, into some sort of pin needle, something, right, that holds it in place. And then you right, and the rubber band is held, stretched out, and you're focusing on the dead center. You're focusing on what it almost looks like when it's stretched out. And so it's this elongation, okay, of resources, stretching out of resources. How is it? And you're taking a very close look at the process by which you create, okay? And I'm here to create abundance in some sort of way, as you may see it, as you may feel it, especially as it may be tied to the physical, tangible, material world, okay? And it's almost a feeling of sort of like retrograde. And we are, alas, in retrograde until about the 5th of September, technically, but Mercury retrograde has a 2-week shadow period after it, approximately. So, shadow, I believe it peaks out and goes direct exactly on the 19th of September. So if you're making a really big decision here, right, Virgo, you may want to wait until Mercury goes direct after the post-shadow period, the 19th of September, approximately. Now, okay, we've got here, and this is, I'm beckoning to mention this as well. You know when you stretch out the rubber band, right? And you see, as you're stretching it out, it's almost like you see the infiltrations and the lines and the cracks of that rubber as it stretches and it takes on a different form. And you now see what you were looking at, what appeared to be in a much different form, right? In a different way. And so it's like the thing that you've been looking at looks very different up close, looks very different stretched out, looks very different, okay? And I'm also hearing in more dense when you start getting into the nitty-gritty of it. So it's almost like you're working through, okay, a lot that goes into, that has gone into whatever it is that you've been working with. Okay, so I'm getting that you're working very fine-tuned, very micro with grander concepts that, again, relate to career finances, that relate to resources, and how we create them and what we make of them, okay? Now, you have the 6 of Pentacles that follow suit right after the 9 of Pentacles. Lots of Earth here for you. Great focus on Earth. Now, 6 of Pentacles, there's been a very gradual, slow sort of retraction. There's been a question of, right, how do I, yes, this is what I'm working with. There may have been a sort of sense of stability, okay, a sense of status, a certain the level or stage that was reached. But then, right, you realize, well, it's almost like the wave that peaks and then cascades downwards. There's this recognition of the cycles even, okay, of manifestation and creation, of resources. And it's almost like, but I'm getting also for a number of you that whatever this peak was, it's not that it, right, moves all the way down. It's almost as if this peak peaks up, and then, right, when the new cycle begins, it doesn't go all the way down. It goes just part of the way, right? And then it continues, and it goes part of the way back, and then it continues. So there's something that's building and building and building upon itself, but it's almost like this wave that moves forward and then recedes, moves forwards and recedes, and it has to do with career finances, yet again. I'm getting and our relationship to them. So, where you have been very, very, very much focused on career finances, you are, perhaps in the recent past, you've started to sort of retreat, okay, from that. Focus on what has been so obvious to you about career and finances. And so, and I'm also getting slower growth with this retreat, slower growth in terms of material, tangible assets, but also in terms of how exactly we're doing it. There's been a change of form, okay? It's like kind of like almost growing in the dark, right? Glowing in the dark, growing in the dark. So something to do, even behind the scenes perhaps for a number of you, something to do with resources that have not yet fully been brought to their ultimate potential, so to speak, their full culmination and fruition. But it's almost like before they see the light of day, there's this question of, do I even want this? Does this emotionally give it to me, right? And so that has led you to, okay, the sort of responsive nature, okay, of wanting to see outside of the whole box, right? And it's by way of going very, very micro into it. Yet again, seeing beyond what we've been so preoccupied with, so involved in. And so there's an emotional side of the story, absolutely, right? 4 of Cups, 2 of Cups, 4 of Wands. The 4 of Cups, this rat on this 4 of Cups card is staring right into the 4 of Wands. So it's like you are challenging yourself, and you're being beckoned to challenge yourself to dig very deeply in terms of the vision that you see of what this whole cycle has meant for you in terms of manifestation and fruition of material, tangible assets and sense of security. Okay, as you may see it, as you may feel it. And it's a very introspective process. It requires of you to recount the steps that you've taken that have brought you to this point of feeling just almost at your wit's end, okay, with the whole process. And how have you been feeling through that process? That's the focus here. That's what is on I'm here on site, and so, but it's a very personal process at the same time, Virgo. And I almost said Leo, so Leo may be associated with this, okay, with these emotions as well. But, right, it's like what do I want to see through the process? By way of honoring, right, how I felt through it, okay, coming to terms with emotions. Now, you have this Ace of Swords, yet again, near future, okay, we mentioned that as well. And you have the 5 of Wands in reverse, in accompaniment to this Wheel of Fortune, both in reverse, in your hopes and your fears. The question is, how do I bring all the pieces together? How, like, I'm seeing you, it's almost like how all of this rubble, when we've pulled it apart, what do I make of these pieces? Okay, and what part do they play in the next act? So it's a question of, I'm getting it again, it's like finances, and I'm hearing scurrying. So what do I make of this experience? What does this lead me to? What is almost this experience showing me by way of experiencing me in it, through it? Who am I through the experience? So you're looking at, it's almost like this simultaneous subjectivity and objectivity, right? It's like the zooming in and the zooming out. Who am I within the experience? Who's the experience, right? Within me, right? In a way, like vice versa and vice versa. So there's this duplicity and there's this mirroring. And from the inside and the outside, almost looking at yourself in this grander sort of scheme, okay? Peering into your own world and who you are as an individual within that world. It's very interesting, Virgo, very, very interesting. Now, there's a question absolutely of, I'm getting it again, scurrying. What are the creative measures that I am to take by way of this change, this shakeup? And you may feel that there is shakeup coming through as it pertains to whatever these assets are, okay? There's this great circularity, this focus on circularity, the Wheel of Fortune mirroring the 8 of Pentacles. So it's almost like there's this focus on preparation of what cycles through next after this. I'm hearing this onslaught, this period of integral focus, okay, integral focus. I'm thinking about integration, but also integral focus, where it's almost like you have the chance, the moment to really absorb this and what it is and what it is meant for you. And the question is, right, once I come up, right, back over the surface of the water, the edge of the water for air. What, so to speak, what am I to, how am I, I'm hearing, how am I to buoy, something, how am I to buoy, I'm hearing buoy for you, okay, of this experience? I'm hearing, how am I to stay afloat for a number of you? Okay, so there's a preparative phase here, and it's almost as if time stands still, and you are in the motions of the greater motion, the micro emotions within the greater motions, and it's almost like this mouse, okay, who is like, the cat is sleeping, and the mouse is right, so tiny compared to the cat, and the mouse goes and explores, right, the cat's little humble abode. Okay, I don't know, I'm imagining, right, this cat is, but then I'm imagining that the cat is in the home of the mouse, in the wall, okay, through the little mouse hole. I'm imagining the cat is sleeping in the mouse hole. Very interesting, okay, and I'm thinking of that movie, I'm envisioning that movie Mousetrap. I believe the name of it was Mousetrap, Mouse Hunt, something about that, okay. But, and it's almost like the mouse is investigating its own home while the cat is in its home. And it's like very quiet, there's this quietness, and the mouse knows the cat's sleeping right now. Now is the time that the cat is sleeping. And I'm taking my time to scope out the area, perhaps in some sort of way. Before the cat awakens, I need to be prepared with how I want to move forward. That requires of me to take a very close look, to see beyond what it is that I see, beyond what it is even that I feel, okay? But to be clear to myself in both of those respects, even if I'm not speaking out about it, okay? But there's this focus on, where do I go here, from here? Where do I go from here next? And I'm getting shake up strongly for you, right? Shake up in terms of what it is that we expected, but it's almost like you have, yet again, I'm getting strongly here, you have this chance to, this period of time to focus, almost like, whatever this shake up is, it's drawn out in time. So instead of being like an immediate sort of thing, it's drawn out, and you have the time and the space to prepare for what you want to make of it ultimately, and where you want to go from it, and where you want it to take you ultimately. So there's this sense of time, okay, and I'm hearing connection, okay, and the recognition that you are in the driver's seat ultimately, right? It's like that's the mouse's home, and the mouse knows that the cat's asleep. The cat's asleep. So there's this recognition of the focus that you are to have on what is real to you, what is yours. And it's almost like this, Virgo. It's like, the shakeup yet again, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the reading, in a way had to happen. In a way, not had to happen, so to speak, but it happened, and it happened in such a way, right, that it actually caused you to take the moment to take stock, right? I'm hearing inventory of what it is that you have, of what it is that you really connect with, to take a very close look at yourself, and to see yourself for who you really are, and the ways in which you want to give of yourself to yourself and in the community at large. And it's almost like, right, taking this deep dive beneath the water, right, taking a look at everything there. Okay, you recognize, right, I'm coming back up for water, but I need to see what lies beneath the surface before I deal with what's above it. Okay, and so it's these depths that, right, it's this this period, this cycle, period and cycle that serves you, actually. Okay, I'm getting that strength that serves you, and you are happy to take the moment to make the most of it. And I'm getting, yet again, there is a recognition that there is a greater sort of purpose, okay, to it all, to kind of press pause, right, to press pause allows you to see the process through in a greater light, and to make more of, right, where it leads you from here in the way that you connect with, Virgo. So thank you so very much for tuning in. And I'm beckoning to mention Aquarius for you, so whatever that may mean to you. But thank you so very much again for tuning in. Yes, and I'm zeroing in as well on smoky quartz for you, and I'm hearing kyanite. So those two stones may be of help to you. They speak of grounding energy and that which deals with communication, but not only speaking, also the communication internally with ourselves. So higher self, I'm getting. So seeing things from a higher perspective, yet again, while delving deeply, okay, into that perspective in and of itself on a very micro level, may be a focus for you, Virgo. So thank you so very much for tuning in. Have a beautiful August and beginning of September, and I'll see you soon for your mid-September readings. Stay tuned for them. I'll probably be having them released in about 2 weeks or so, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I update on videos if there are any delays or when videos are posted on Twitter. So if you would like to connect there, feel free to add the handle AlchemyInYou on Twitter. I also highly recommend you to check out your rising, ascendant, or moon sign as well, Virgo, as those signs may give you sort of multi-dimensional perspective on whatever it is that comes through in your sun sign reading. Okay, so for example, I resonate a lot with my moon sign, even more than my sun. So I highly recommend you to check those signs out. If you don't know your signs other than your sun, then you can click the link below in the description box that I provide, and that will compute them for you. All right, but just make sure that your birth time is correct. All right, as it can change a few signs here and there. Namely that of your ascendant, most likely, and with your moon, you may be able to configure the moon sign without knowing exactly the minute, okay, time of your birth, unless you were born at the switch, okay, sort of interval between two signs. But if, right, on the day of your birth, the moon sign was the same throughout the whole day, then you'll most likely know your moon sign. All right, so thank you so very much again for tuning in, Virgo. Have a beautiful August and September. I'll see you for a mid-September reading soon. Bye.